Hello everyone and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, where we are still at the Defender's Heart, and maybe this episode we can get outside of the tavern, but it's just that these characters are pretty well written, in my opinion. So far I find them all pretty interesting, so I do wanna talk to them, find out more. Who's this Chiaro? I believe that help is already on the way. The Queen will not leave us to die. Okay, so this might actually be it. Indara, an imposing young Oriat, is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the differences between Jiska legionaries from the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Chistka Imperium was the first human kingdom to establish itself in the Inner Sea region after the centuries of darkness and devastation caused by Earthfall. Its citizens spoke a nearly forgotten language called Chistka, whose alphabet became the basis of the alphabets of the modern languages of Skald, Varisian, and Taldane. At its height, it dominated all of northwestern Garund and also parts of southwestern Avistan. Raids of desert nomads and attacks by powerful outsiders from minus 3300 onward, and the lack of a strong eastern trade route led to the slow decline of Gistka. Osirion, then a burgeoning kingdom under the control of the powerful pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues, pushed westward. It overthrew the already weakened Gistka, and the Imperium was plunged into numerous succession wars around minus 2764, from which it was never again able to recover its former political, military, and economic power. Because of this military and economic defeat, the important cultural, magical, and technological advances of the Jiska Imperium were largely lost and forgotten. Hmm. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers to a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is clear that they are captivated by the women's words. The only exception is a scraggly and disheveled halfling monk, whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Quietly listen to the discussion. One of the crusaders angrily curls his fists tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours, or whatever, had come from us, for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we'd never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusaders around him look on their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. Wow. And I'll have you know these fortifications were defended by Jiskan priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her clothes with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on a lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. Absalom, a city at the center of the world, metropolis-sized showcase of the greatest treasures on all Golarion. The city not only holds a key strategic position for both commercial and military endeavors in the region, but encompasses the site of the ascension of four deities and claims to have been founded by none other than the last Aslanti, the god Aroden. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Indara, a warrior, magus, and scholar of the classical warfare from Garund. The woman peers at you apprehensively, then sighs. I admit that I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept that this is due Avistan's isolation from the sophisticated culture of the world at large, okay? You've come a long way to be here. I like to think of myself as an inhabitant of Golarion, and I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. Why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, confrontation between denizens of a plane famous for its love of violence and the crusaders from every continent, united by the common goal of defending their home, an epic struggle of colossal proportions. It hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. The monk with the black eye grins and mutters under his breath. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get way more epic if she stops hiding among us and takes a walk outside. The woman smirks contemptuously. She does not deem the monk's words worthy of comment. Looks like you know more about warfare than any of us. Oh? Am I hearing things, or did someone finally acknowledge my competence in the art of warfare? Perhaps there is a sufficiently open-minded person among the Crusaders after all. I find myself pleasantly surprised. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how fighting should be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, a theorist. Do you know what these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict upon which her thesis will be founded. Then again, I will hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last war of Gistka. What is this last war that you mentioned? Oh, you can attack her. Insulting the Crusaders will cost you dearly! What is this last war that you mentioned? The last war of Gistka, of course, large-scale conflict that took place 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom, was a war against the Osirian pharaoh of the Forgotten Plagues, the war that ended the legendary Gistka Imperium, an epic struggle that became the most vibrant page in military history. Alas, all conflicts that followed it were just a pale shadow, including the one I am witnessing here. Why do you find the last war of Gistka so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits marching into battle. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds, like terrifying monstrous birds of prey, to drop forces on top of enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels, or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated the Gistka, the deadly Night Plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tame pestilence, striking only those who its master wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors and understand that no flight of fancy can even come close to the horror of the nightmares that they made real. How do you know so much about Gisca's last war? I can say without false modesty that there is no more authoritative researcher on Golarion when it comes to the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. I've dedicated my whole life to this subject. I've personally visited old battlefields and studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives containing chronicles of ancient wars, sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator-class combat golem that guarded a Jistka laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held the glass flask that the servants of Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jistka Imperium. How do I know so much? I saw and touched everything I am telling you about. Well, you're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of the Jistka. Very well, the last war of Jistka was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcements from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to the Jistka, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. Of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. The earnestness on the faces of those around you has taken away Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over words. Of course, I'm not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I am trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, she falls silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes of her audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellished their tales of slaying a single Brimorak by adding a dozen Balors, for example, I could win this debate. But I am above such things, and therefore I am forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I'm sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I am glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. Claw of Jistka. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It's about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Alright, cool. Let's check out that weapon. Short sword. It's flaming. I just gave you extra bonuses for longsword. Let's look at this. What happens if we do this? Wait, what? Why can't I? Have to do it here. Yeah, that's also +8. Let's just compare the two. What? No, don't compare it with the shield, of course. That's ridiculous. Okay. Claw of Jistka does more damage. Huh. Yeah. Let's do it. Maybe I can retrain them. Yeah, I can. That was in the rules. Oh my god, we're not done here. Alright. Sila. Hello there. Sila smiles at you warmly. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I shake your hand. Thank you for speaking with me. Until next time. I'm going to talk to her later. I mean, I want to actually do something as well. Elor, who are you? Tall athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely grey and shorn close to his head in the military style. He's lean and well groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large but agile frame attests that here is a man who's always ready to be on the move. Greetings, I am Healer, venture captain of the Pathfinder Society. Ah! You're going to help us retrain and hire mercenaries? I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendef. However, the society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there are almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone, without the support of the society, but I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, talk to me. I will get a great mentor from Absalom. For the first few times, he'll train your fighters free of charge. Well, we can actually do this. Sure. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. What? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, heavy armor focus. Wait, was she level 4? Oh, she wants... Yeah, should we have a tank? This may be better than weapon focus now. Sure, but let me choose this. Yeah, let's tank her. Yeah, Mercy second, sure. complete. Um, we can hire some mercenaries. How much does that cost? 4,500! That amount is unacceptable. I'm sorry, but the society has established universal rates to avoid competition between Pathfinders of different countries. Jesus Christ, man! Well, let's get one. But let me just see what are we missing? So I got a sorcerer. I don't I don't I will take her along for the quests that require it. And for now, honestly, I will take Sela along for sure. She's lawful good, and her alignment is undetectable. That's also something really weird. I will take you along, so just can I move them around now? No, I can't. Really? I can't drag them here. Yeah, I'll hire a merc, but what? Yeah, let's take one. So we have. Let's look at the class first. If we have a paladin, we should probably have a barbarian as well. Or should we? Should we get a cleric? Like a healer? Calling powerful outsiders to aid their breath. Classy Church, eschewing physical armor for protection via the strength of his faith. And a Classy Church focuses on the miracles his deity bestows and the breath of that deity's dominion. Huh. Let me just check this out. Bless. One ally. Domain mastery. Oh yeah. Crusader. Militant. Angel Fire Apostle. Wait. Uses the power of good to avoid violence when possible and cleanse both maladies and evil creatures with blinding flames. Is less concerned with the traditional divine magic that many religious adherents receive. The Angel Fire Apostle receives one fewer spell slot at each level. When an Angel Fire Apostle gets no spells per day at its spell level, it can cast domain spells of that level normally. It can only cast non-domain spells of that level if he gets them as bonus spells. Can I have a normal cleric? Yeah. I don't know. I think we do need... If I close this now, will I get my money back? If I lost my money now, no, I get it back. So let's look at you and your spells. Wait, I still have to slot them. You have Bless or something similar. Yeah, you have 8, but that's one target. Yeah, she can do all of those. Fear. Morale bonus on saving throws against mind-affecting effects that rely on negative emotions. Okay, she has sleep. She has cure. She has bliss. Okay. Okay, so we have our. Can I remove this? Yeah, double click. Bliss. Enlarge person. Yeah, that's the only. I can't put any other there. Level 2. Lesser restoration is kinda nice. But Bull Strength is also kinda nice, and that's a domain spell. Can I get more of those? Yeah. I think that will benefit us more than these healing spells. Okay. But wait, let's see. False life, what's that? Grant yourself the limited ability to avoid death. While this spell is in effect, you gain temporary hit points equal to 1d10 plus 1 per caster level. That's that is actually nice. But an 8 is also nice, of course. But I got 3 slots, and Bull Strength is probably the best. Plus 4 enhancement bonus to strength. Yeah. Okay, so we got a kind of priest. Yeah. Yeah, I need brave and experienced fighters. Right. Should get a barbarian, I guess. Just a fighter. Barbarian. Beast skin. concentrated fighters who are so adept at controlling their rage that they can fight blind, relying on only a sixth sense. Interesting. These barbarians invite their enemies to attack them and use pain to fuel their rage. Mad Dog. They're named for the wild savages who fight along rabid dogs. Mad dogs employ all manners of beasts as their battle brethren. Pack Rager. There are those barbarians whose rages inspire and spur on their allies during the ferocious dance of death. So, rage power removed, uncanny dodge. That's nice. Just a normal barbarian? Yeah, we do need some more front lining. Sure. Sure. A half-orc barbarian. Let me just take a fitting portrait. Wait, that's from the first game. Yeah, sure, we can use that. Just forget that it was someone in the first game. Lose orc ferocity and keen senses, but yeah, normal. Yeah, something like a warrior, a gladiator. No. Wait, regional. Cold resistance. athletics. Sure, lumberjack. Yeah, racial bonus strength sounds good. You don't need intelligence, don't need wisdom, and you definitely don't need to look good. Let's pump up the constitution and dexterity. That looks good. Athletics, mobility, feet, weapon focus. Do they come with an axe or of some sort? Great axe. Yeah, there better be great axes that are somewhat decent. Sure, let's do it. Choose deity. Oh no. Yeah, I'm going for this. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, chaotic good. And that's all fine.
Their life ends here!
All I see is blackness.
I'm not touching that. March, march. All I do is march.
I won't give up! This is my path.
Sure. Hey. Sure. Let's just do it like this, because why not?
We cannot be defeated.
Alright. He gained some levels. So yeah. Barb. Animal Fury. Yeah, the bite attack. If used as a part of a full attack, the bite attack is made at the barbarian's full base attack. Bonus -5. The bite hits, it deals 1d4 points of damage. Yeah, or I like the Animal Fury. Okay. next. -1 penalty on all melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain damage. Yeah, that sounds fitting. Danger sense. Okay. So that's that. Alright. I will end the episode here. Thank you for watching and see you next time.